G'day my friends and welcome to Marty's Garden Vlogs. Yep, we're vlogging these days and absolutely loving it. Also, I want to say a big hello to the new 150 subscribers in the last 3 days. Actually, there's been thousands in the last month, and I want to welcome you all too for coming in and joining in on the show here at my small space garden on the mid-north coast of New South Wales. Now, I teach all types of stuff on this channel about small space gardening and micro farming. And if you love growing food, basically in any climate, I'm running here. Now, some of the plants I do grow are sort of temperate, subtropical, but the implementation is all the same. It's basic organic gardening in small spaces using permaculture principles, sustainable agricultural principles, and small space gardening lessons right here on my space. Now, we're going to go and have a look at the chickens. They're out in the yard and we've moved the pen. So, chicken update plus compost. I'm selling compost today. I got orders. So, just before we move out to the pen, 2 orders there, 7 bags for Marty and 2 bags for Woz. Very, very cool. And organic. These are full of soil life, guys. Full of microbes and all that really cool stuff. Here comes Karen. She's coming through. She's just had a shower. She's been outside sitting with the chickens while she has breakfast. Let's head out and see the chickens now. Chick, 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 chick. Where are you, chickens? Chicken, 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 chickens. Well, here they are, working over the compost like a good little chickadee. So we've called one Emily, and I think we're going to call the other one Gertrude. But because they're both Isa Browns, I think the darker one is Emily. So where is the other chicken? We've got to better hunt her down. We've only got one chicken out here. Come round to the front yard. Karen hasn't been doing a job as a chicken herder. Maybe the other one is in dropping an egg. Let's go and have a look. Over here at the pen. It's being very quiet. And we moved the pen, and I'll discuss that in a little bit. Coming over, I'll just get the clip undone here. There she is. Sorry, little girl, I won't disturb you. Still laying an egg. Sorry, I feel really bad about that, but she's okay. She's not too worried. And our little friend over here, which I think is Emily, and Gertrude is in laying eggs. Well, not eggs, but an egg. Get in there and stir up that compost. Yep. Like a good little chickadee. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the tripod and then we're going to give you a rundown on the coop and why we moved it and what we're up to right now. I'll set this camera up a bit better for the coop so we can see it. Give you a bit of a rundown. I don't like the brick background, but hey, what else can I do? Get the camera right. Oh, and in comes a magpie swooping in to attack the chickens. Let's go. Is there a chicken magpie war on? Here she goes. She's on her own. She's going to go over there and confront the magpie. He's hiding. Magpie's hiding behind the chair. Chickens are into it. Get into it, chickens. Get in. Get in. Good work, Emily. Well done. High five. High five. High five. High five. Well done. You are man. You're like a rooster. I saw you get up there and just, well done, I must say. Well done. You even had that chicken hiding behind the chicken. We've got those magpies chickens. What do you reckon? Let's get back here. And our breakdown, that was like chicken magpie sports. We'll get back to the pen here. That was so funny. Come here. Come on. This chicken has to be the bravest chicken I have ever met. Took on 2 magpies by herself. Well done, little chickadee. I've got to get a better hold of you. Sorry, I'll put you down. We're going to talk about the pen here. So, what was given by Scott was a wooden pen that you can buy off eBay and different places like that. Now, he apparently coated it with some type of lacquer as well. And it's actually not a bad pen when you consider if they're quite cheap, but they're not something that are long term, I would say. They're fairly flimsy, light timber, and if you've got them out in the weather, I would say that they wouldn't last very long. Now I've got mine under the eave up here, and so it's sort of out of the weather. You'd have to get heavy south rain to come into the side. And because it's sitting on the ground, well, there's going to be some moisture suck up through. So in that situation, if I was going for keeping this long term, I would be putting down gravel, some type of blue metal dust, to stop any moisture coming up onto the timber, and also making sure that it was under more of an eave, so that way it's not exposed to the weather, because it's the weather that's going to break it down. But you can see they're quite happy, so I'll bring you over. And we saw that Gertrude, I think we're going to call the other one Gertrude, was in there laying eggs. And so we're still feeding a bit of pellets because they've been used to being fed pellets by Scott, and they're manuring into all this material here, which is just basically when we mow the lawn, and that will go into the worm farms. And now when you go in here, there's a little sliding door, so we can keep the foxes out, and they have to get in here and then bust through this sliding door through the wall to get in. I know it's not perfectly fox proof, but we're getting there. And apparently if you wee around the area too, that really helps. And we've got like this sliding tray that comes out here now, and this is basically all the chook poo, and that will go into another area and then into the worm farms as well as food, because they love it. Now I'm noticing that this tray, it warps a bit and gets stuck, so I'm gonna have to turn off the camera and fix that and slide it in. I just can't do it one-handed. I think I disturbed Gertrude a bit while she's laying eggs by moving this tray in and out. So I'm very sorry, Gertrude. I won't do that again when you're in there. And Emily, you are you are my favourite chicken I've ever had so far. Took on the magpies. I know I keep bringing that up, but man, that's insane. So while I'm waiting for my customers to come to pick up the compost bags, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that whole green pile there. There's about 2 cubes maybe, close to it, just under. So 6 cubic feet, something like that, 2 square meters. It's a lot of digging to do, but I'm going to move it all up the other end, and then I can actually harvest the compost from that far end when it's coming out of there, and also set up the worm farms. I better go get the tripod reset up so you can get a better look at my favourite chicken at the moment, helping me when I'm working on the compost. What are you doing, Karen?
I'm feeding chickens.
We got a jumping chicken?
Yeah.
So this is a bit like compost excavation, right? What I do sometimes is I create coffee layers in the compost, and that's where the worms feed at different levels. Now this has probably been a bit high, but a bit low, I mean down a bit too deep. It should be up higher in the top 6 to 12 inches, but you'll see compost worms more than likely feeding around this area, and it's hot. So on the edges here, we'll see them come through, And if there's not enough moisture, they'll move out. So it might be a bit dry there, but we found one. And usually where there's one, there's a few more. But yeah, so obviously this area is too deep. And when I grab it, it's hot. That nitrogen from the coffee is still breaking down. So because I've covered it over and forgot that it was there, I really need to dig that back through that compost. And that will actually then start feeding. You can see the smoke coming out from there, right? It's still breaking down. Look at the heat coming out. Can you see the heat on the camera card?
No, I can't see it.
Smoke coming out there, like. And you can see the white, like, sort of breaking down around the edges there. And so you should be able to see the smoke on that camera. Look at it. You can see where the white bit, where it's breaking down. And so I've got to mix all that back through while I turn it over and keep putting it over into that layer. So in winter, it's a really good way to do it, because what it does is it creates this heat layer. So we found them hunting just here, and it'll be too hot for them. So they're hanging further away. It's really warm in my hands. And now you get the smoke pouring out of here again. So I'm glad that I actually decided to start turning this over and keep it going, because it's still got a lot more to break down. Wow, it's really smoking now. It smells like, it's starting to smell like coffee. Whew. I tell you what, it's still pretty warm here for autumn on the mid-north coast. It's like Easter hasn't even really kicked in yet. We get a lot more wet weather and sort of cool winds and offshore breezes and things, and the surf really pumps. And at the moment, the surf's flat like the middle of summer. Actually, it's the flattest I've seen it in years, but the ocean is crystal blue, and there's lots of fish, a lot of mullet swimming out to sea, so that's still really good. It means that the fishermen can't get in and just harvest them all. But what I'm doing out here is I'm breeding my compost worms up so I can make a great compost, because they lay the biology into the system and then spread the castings through. And when people come to buy my compost, they get worms and cocoons in there, and they're just super stoked, because when they see something like that, it instantly creates, like when we look at a green forest or a blue ocean, we just feel relaxed. When we see a worm in a compost, especially if we're buying some, we're just going, wow, because no one has seen that in years. And it instantly gives out this portrayal of fertility, and which it actually really is. And the chickens are just the next part to that. So I'm getting eggs from them now. They're digging through it all the time and finding all this really cool, funky food for them. I'm sure that they're getting mighty healthy. And I've just got to grow some more greens for them, I think. Maybe some wheatgrass or something like that. Keep my little chickens nice and happy and healthy. Listen, if you join the show and you want to learn more about worm farming, small space gardening, small space permaculture, with systems thrown in, such as what you would see like in sustainable agricultural solutions, put down here, scaled down into a small space that you can implement at home too, or just enjoy watching the vlogs and learn along the way, please subscribe before you go. Give us that big thumbs up. I wish we could do it like a double thumbs up, shooting gun thumbs up. That would be awesome. Anyway, we need some tunes. Bring on the music. Love the music. Have a great day. Happy gardening. We'll see you next video real soon. Bye for now.
Colored trees, your yellow